Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. My name is Emmanuel. In this tutorial, we'll be creating the sample of the music concert flyer we have on our screen here. If you're an old subscriber, thank you for coming back. If you're new to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification icon to get notified whenever we post a new video. Without further ado, let's get started. The first thing we want to do is to select the image on our screen here and delete it, and we'll head on to the three dot on the top right corner of our screen and we'll input the size of our design. The size is 1784 by 2480. That's an A5 flyer, and we'll click on OK. We'll head on to the plus icon here and we'll input a shape from the shape collections, and then we'll drag it all the way to fit to our screen, and then we'll click on OK, and we'll have it there nicely. The next thing we want to do is head onto the layer panel, and then we'll lock the shape so that we'll have it in place and it doesn't move when we are creating our designs. So we'll head onto the plus icon here and we'll start working on our background by adding a shape, and then we want this shape to be a red gradient. So with the shape selected, we will change the color to a gradient, and we want the gradient to go from black to white. So we'll edit this gradient because we want the black to be transparent, and we'll select it and we'll drag it all the way down and we'll click on OK, and then we'll have it there and we'll click OK. Now that we have it, we'll change the color of this shape here. We'll change it to a red color by selecting it and going to color, and then we'll enable it. Now we'll have our red color there. So what we want to do is to scale the color to cover our screen here. So we'll scale it all the way. And we'll have it covering our screen, and then we would like to duplicate it by making a copy. So we'll select the layers panel and then we'll hide one of the background. And the next thing we want to do is to impute another image that makes up our background. So we'll head on to the plus option here and to our gallery, and then we'll locate the image there. So we have it here, and then we'll impute it. And then the next thing we want to do is to scale it a little bit. So we'll scale it and then we'll place it here, and then we'll select it and then we'll erase the downside of the image to remove the sharp edge. So we'll click on the erase button, and then we'll increase the size of our brush and then increase the hardness a little bit, and then we'll erase the bottom part to remove sharp edges. So erase it like this, erase it a little more, and then we'll click on OK. Now that we have it here neatly, the next thing we want to do is to add another texture that makes up our background. So we'll head on to the plus icon here and we'll go to our gallery, and then we'll locate the texture and we'll scroll down, and this is it here. So we'll add it, and then what we want to do is to erase the sharp edges of this texture as well. So we'll select it and we'll click on erase, and then we'll increase the size of our brush and increase the hardness a little bit, and then we'll erase the sharp edges of our shape. We'll erase the sharp edges like this, and then we'll erase it like this, and then we'll click on OK. Now what we want to do is to make a copy of this. So with it selected, we'll click on copy, but before we make a copy, we'll reduce the opacity of this texture to about 35 pixels. So we'll reduce it to 35 pixels and we'll click on OK, and then we'll make a copy from it. So we'll make a copy. So what we want to do is to hide this copy while we work with the other one. So we'll select this, and then we'll scale it all the way down, scale it like this, we'll scale it, and we have it here nicely. And the next thing we want to do is to unhide the other one, and then we'll bring it down, and then we want to rotate it this way, and we'll have it like this, and then we'll scale it up, scale it, scale it. And then we have it here nicely. So the next thing we want to do is to unhide this layer here, but this red layer here, but we'll select it and we'll take it up, and then we'll unhide it, and then we'll make another copy of it again by selecting it, and then we'll make a copy. We'll select it and we'll make a copy, and then we'll have it there nicely. Now the next thing we want to do is to lock all our layers so that we have them in place and they don't move when we are creating other designs. So we'll lock them like this. And now the next thing we want to do is to bring in our church logo. So we'll head on to the plus icon here, and then we'll go to our gallery, and then we'll locate the church logo that we have. For this, scroll down, and this is it, and we'll bring it onto our design, and we'll click on OK. Oops, not this. Head on to the plus icon gallery, and then we'll locate the logo, and we have it here. So we'll bring it onto our design, and then we'll click on OK. And the next thing we want to do, we'll change the color from that to a white color. So we'll change it to a white color, and then we'll scale it down all the way like this, and we'll place it here. And the next thing we want to do is to add the name of the church. And mind you, this is just a fictional logo, and this name is just fictional. So the name of our church is going to be Church of the Cross. This is fictional, please. I don't know if there's any church there is name like this, but this is just fictional, just for this tutorial. So I'll impute it again, Church of the Cross, and I have it there nicely. So what I want to do is to take it up, and then I'll select the text option, and then I'll head on to the style, and then I'll bold it, and then I'll click on OK, and then I would like to reduce the size a little bit. I'll reduce it down to 20, and then I would like to increase the word spacing here, and then I'll increase it all the way like this to 35, and then I'll drag this so that we have it up. Let me make it 40, so we have it there nicely. So I'll take it up like this, and then I will take this logo up like this, and we have it neatly presented. So the next thing we want to do is to bring in our microphone. So we'll head on to the plus icon here, and we'll go to gallery, and then we'll locate the microphone, and then we'll select it. Then we'll bring it onto our design, but we'll reduce the size from here a little bit, and then we'll bring it onto our design. So we'll select it, and then we'll make a copy of it, and then we'll hide the first copy. So we'll select this and we'll scale it up like this, and we'll take it up, but with that selected, we'll send it to the back of our text. So we'll send it to back. Ops is going to back, so we'll select this, and then we'll just hold it, and we'll drag it below this text here. Just drag it below the text, and then we have it there. So what we want to do is to reduce the opacity of this microphone. So we'll select it, and then we'll reduce the opacity down to 30. So we'll have the opacity as 30, and then we'll leave it that way. So let's change the color of this text. We forgot to change the color, so let's change the color from white to a yellow, and then we'll have it there nicely, and we'll click on OK. Now the next thing we want to do is to add our main text, which is the worship night. So we'll head on to the plus icon here, and then we'll go to text, and we'll double click, and then we'll type our text. We'll make it all caps. We'll type war, and we'll go down, and we'll type SHIP, and we'll click on OK. Now what we want to do is to change the font. With the text selected, we head on to font, and then I have a font that I installed on Pixellap here. So we're going to use this railway heavy. So we'll select it, and then we'll click on OK. Now we want to increase the size, and we're going to be increasing the size all the way to 200. So increase it all the way to 200. So we have it at 200, and then we'll select it, and we'll decrease the line spacing and the height spacing as well. So we'll reduce the word spacing a little bit, and then we'll also reduce the line spacing a little bit like this, and then we'll align it to the center. So we'll have it to the center this way. So we'll take this up a little bit, and we'll leave it somewhere here. So, but to be sure of the alignment, we can just simply go to positioning, and then we'll align it to the center like this. So we'll select it, and then we'll make a copy, right? So we'll select the one below, and we'll change the color from white to black. So we'll change the color from white to black, and then we'll select the one on top, and then we'll just still use that positioning option, and then relative positioning, and we'll position it to the center like this, and then we have it somewhere here neatly. So we'll just lock those two layers so that we'll have them in place. We'll just lock them so that they don't move when we are creating our design. Now the next text we want to add is the night. So we'll head on to the plus icon here, and we'll type our text. We'll type night with a capital NGHT, and then we'll add it. So what we want to do is to increase the size, and then we want to head on to the font. Head on to the font, and this is another font that I installed too. So the name of the font is Tuesday Night, and I have it there. So I click on OK, and I'll change the color from white to yellow. So I'll change it from white to yellow, and I'll click on OK, and then I will give it a thin black stroke. So I'll give it a stroke effect. So we have it here nicely like this. So but if you notice, my T is not showing, it's not complete. So I'll just select it, and I'll increase the padding. I'll increase the padding because the text is hiding. So I'll locate the padding option, which is this, and it's the padding right. So I'll increase it like this, increase it like this. So I'll just position it somewhere here neatly, and then I'll reduce the size a bit to 130. So I have it here, and then I'll also use the relative position, and I'll position it to the center, and I'll drag it inward like this, and then I will lock it to keep it in place too. So now that we have it here, the next thing we want to do is to unhide our microphone that we hide. So we'll unhide it, and then we'll bring it downward like this, and then we'll rotate it a little bit, and then we'll take it up and take it up a little bit. So we have it somewhere like this. So now the next thing we want to do is to bring in our main subject, and that's the pastor, the main pastor who is ministering. So we'll head on to the plus icon here, and we'll head on to our gallery, and then we'll locate the image of our main subject, which is this pastor, and then we'll crop it, and then we'll click on OK, and then we'll position it somewhere here, but we'll scale it down a little bit. So we'll scale it down a little bit, we'll scale it up a bit, and then we have it over here. We'll have it over here neatly. Now the next thing we want to do is to bring in the texture below. So we'll head on to the plus icon from gallery, and I'll bring in the texture that we have below, and this is the texture here. So we'll just crop it down like this, and then we'll check, and then we'll bring it downward, and we'll scale it up so that it starts from the beginning of our page to the end to cover it, and we'll just position it here nicely. Now the next thing we want to do is to bring in our guitar. So we'll head on to the plus icon here, and from gallery, and then we'll locate our guitar, and then we have it here. I will just reduce this, and then we have it. So we'll just rotate it a bit like this, and then we'll take it, we'll select the guitar, and we'll take it down below our text like this. So the next thing we want to do is to just position this neatly, and then we'll want to reduce the opacity. So with that selected, we'll go to the shape option here, and we'll locate the opacity and reduce it down to 35. Let's make it 40, and then we'll click on OK. Yep, and we have it there nicely, and we have it there nicely. So the next thing we want to do is to add the two ministers that will be ministering in this music concert. So we'll head on to the plus option here, and we'll add a shape. So we'll scale it down all the way like this, and then we'll position it somewhere here like this, and then we'll check, and then we want to give it a stroke, that is an outline color, and that outline color is going to be yellow. So we'll have it here neatly, and we'll select this, and we'll make a copy, and then I'll bring it down like this. So I'll shift this a bit, and I have this, and I'll position this somewhere here. So now that we have it, we want to add the pictures of these ministers. So we'll select it, and then we'll head on to texture here, and then from our gallery we'll locate the images, and I'll go to files, and then I'll go to design files, and I'll go to images here, and I have this here. So we'll use this, and we have this. So I'll select the second one, and then I'll go to texture, and then file, So guys, the image is still down. Let me just locate it, or we can just use this. So we'll just have this, and then we'll click on OK, and we have it there nicely. I'll click on OK, and then we have it. Now that we have this, we'll want to take it up a bit, take it up a bit, and then we'll want to add their names. So we'll just select this, and then we'll make a copy, and then I'll just remove the image there. So I'll delete the image, and then I'll scale it downward like this, and then I'll use the positioning option just to position it, and I have it neatly. So I'll make a copy from this, and then I'll drag it down all the way, and I'll drop it here. I think this is perfect. So the next thing I want to do is to add their names. So I head onto the text option here, and then I'll select, and then these names are just fictional. So this one is Minister Jane Jakes, and I have it there. And then I want to change the color from white to black, and I have it there. So I want to reduce the size a little bit down to 23, and I have it here. Let me make it 22, and I have it there. So with that selected, I'll make it bolder by going down to style, and then I'll make it bolder, and I'll click on OK. So I'll make a copy of this, and then I'll bring this down, and I'll position it somewhere here, and I'll edit this, and this is Minister Dawson Pate. These names are just fictional, please. So I have it there. So I'll just reduce the size of this a little bit so that it fits in, because it's a bit bigger. So I reduce it by 2, and then I have it there nicely. So the next thing I want to add is to add the location for this music concert. So I want to add a location icon to this. So I head onto the plus icon here, and I have these icons on my gallery. So I have this. I want to add the location icon, so I'll use this. I'll use this icon here. So I'll just scale it down all the way down, and then I'll just scale it down, and I'll just place it here, and I'll duplicate this. The location for this is going to be the International Stadium, Abuja, Nigeria. So I'll just have it here like this, and the next thing I want to add is to add the date and the time. So I'll add an icon to this as well. So I'll add an icon to this as well. So I'll add the date icon, which is this, and then I'll scale it down. Just try to match up the size with what I have. I'll just scale it down a bit, and then I'll just duplicate this. And I'll type the date is going to be 27th May, 2022, and I'll click on OK. So I would like to bring this down a bit, and I would like to bring this to the side. So I'll select it, and then I'll use this positioning option, and then I'll position it to around here, and I'll bring it down a bit, and then I'll select this as well, and then I will use the positioning option, and I'll bring it closer to this, and then I'll take it up a bit, and I want to change the color, so I'll change it from that to white. I'll just change it to white. So the next thing I want to bring in is the time icon. So I head onto the plus icon here from gallery, and then I locate the icons here. So I'll just crop it down like this, and I'll click on OK, and I'll bring it here, and I'll just crop it down. So I'll use this positioning option to position this, and I'll just bring it down, and I'll take it to the side like this, and I would like to select this text, and I'll make a copy of this. And then I'll bring it downward here, and I would like to edit it, and I'll change the time to 8 p.m. and I'll click on OK. So I'll just position it neatly, then I'll select this. So the last thing we'll be adding is the name of the pastor. So we'll head onto the plus icon here, and we'll add a text, and then I'll bring it down, and I'll select, and I'll type pastor, and I'll click on OK, and then I'll change the color to a red, and then I will change the font to this Tuesday night. So I'll click on OK, and then I'll increase the word spacing like this, and then I'll place it somewhere here. So I'll add his other name, and the name is Jackson Smith. And then I will change the color from white to black. and then I'll change the font as well to this, and I have it. So I'll place it here, and then I'll reduce the size a little bit down to 35, and then I'll make it bolder, and I have it here like this. So guys, everything is in place and it's looking good and perfect. It's looking good and